Well, our teams are across Russia, and joining us live from Russia's second largest city of St. Petersburg is our correspondent Igor Ogorodnev. He's at the Palace Square in central St. Petersburg. It's nice to hear from you, Igor. Now, what have you got for us this hour?
Well, welcome to our election coverage from St. Petersburg. Although it's always been known as Russia's capital city in terms of culture, during the 90s it had a difficult reputation. It had a reputation as a crime capital, and it also had a reputation, although it was a big city, it was lagging behind Moscow in its development. But now this reputation is changing largely because of the economic revival of Russia, and also, of course, we cannot ignore the fact that Vladimir Putin is from St. Petersburg himself. Nevertheless, some problems do remain, because the city has now acquired a reputation for being one of the centers of hate crimes in the whole of Russia. And going to be speaking to me on this subject is Stanislav Tkachenko, who is the professor of international relations school at St. Petersburg State University, and also, from what I know, you had a program which is supposed to increase tolerance in Russia. Now, yesterday we received some very shocking statistics that have been 23 murders on the basis of racial hate already in Russia this year. Now, what can you say about this? Is it because the reporting of these crimes is increasing, or is it really a serious problem across Russia?
Well, there are a number of reasons. First of all, of course, the reporting is become more and more important simply because of the journalists, independent journalists are paying more and more attention to that. And second, well, there are ups and downs in statistics. It appears that there are more these cases and less. The more important thing is that the state is paying more and more attention to that, trying to develop the system of education to change the rules for activities of militia, of some other institutions. And generally speaking, if that is especially the case in St. Petersburg, the state is considering, or city authorities considering, the intolerance as one of the biggest problems for the city, which should be solved more or less immediately.
So is the situation improving? Was the situation much worse a few years ago?
You know, we don't have final statistics for year 2007, but preliminary statistics demonstrate that in 2007 we have a 7% decline in number of cases which are dealing with intolerance. I mean, attacks and some publications in media and other cases which push people who are living in St. Petersburg, coming from abroad, people of different ethnic groups, feel themselves uncomfortable or insecure in the city.
Now, one of the things which I find most disturbing about this when I read about it is that apparently somebody is financing these groups. These aren't just a few teenagers getting together in a flat. Somebody is giving these people money and they're getting training. Now, who's financing these people, and to what extent is that true at all?
Well, that's not exactly true. I mean, mostly then we are starting the problem of these ethnic crimes in the city. We find out that mostly these crimes are committed by people from 15 to 25, mostly young men, and mostly they're either financed by organized crime or some small extremist or ultranationalist parties which are emerging and disappearing in Russia during the last year. So definitely there is no system of financing of these extremist groups, but there is some sort of demand from organized crime and extremists to have the youth movements.
Now, the government in this country is flirting with nationalist politics. Nobody's denying this. We're all talking about being Russian, about being proud of your national identity. Do you think the government has to take a little bit of responsibility for also encouraging these people on the margins of the nationalist movement?
No, I definitely disagree with the fact that government is responsible for that. Of course, we should put the process in the historical perspective. In the 90s, the biggest challenge for the country was to keep territorial integrity, to provide security. Now new issues are coming to the agenda, and the training of tolerance, development of tolerance is one of them. So Russia is still in search of its national identity and to find some moral values which should be available for the whole population. And of course, being Russian, it's something which should be invented. I mean, the government and media should explain people of Russia what does it mean to be a citizen of Russia, citizen without any ethnic or religion or some other connotation, except just citizen of Russia.
Just one more question for you then. What can you talk about the effectiveness of organizations such as your own in combating tolerance? Because education is all very good, but are you reaching out to these people that are going to be the ones that are going to be committing these crimes?
I can give you statistics on St. Petersburg. Last year, 2007, there were 3,350 different events organized by the city authorities, by administration of regions, by NGO, universities. So that's really very wide group of institutions which are trying to develop tolerance, which are covering media, religious groups, youth groups, education, some other institutions, including institutions of power. So, of course, there is still a big problem to reach everybody who need to be taught to tolerance, to get more positive information about different religious and ethnic groups.
Okay, thank you, Stanislav. That was Stanislav Tkachenko, who is the professor at the School of International Relations at St. Petersburg State University.
Igor, thank you so much for that insight on a very important topic.